Hello guys, and welcome to yet another episode of IKNO F1. And today we'll be talking about the most talked about team in this preseason time, which is McLaren. And today I want to discuss the topic of McLaren and are we over expecting from them? As in the preseason time, I came across some really big or you can say wild expectations from them. But before we begin, let's roll this intro. Okay, so in the past few weeks, or you can say from January, I came across countless videos on the topic of McLaren and how they'll be back to winning ways. And to be very honest, I firmly believe that the chances of McLaren becoming a race winning team are very high after this new regulation change kicks in. But there are some things, or as I can say, my insecurities as a McLaren fan that gets me worried sometimes. So, for getting started, firstly, I want to discuss that we don't need to forget the midfield battle that we had last year. And although McLaren came out as the top midfield team, there were equal chances of how other teams should have won it. And I made a separate video on how Renault lost it, and if we talk about Racing Point, they should have won it if we didn't count the 15-point penalty that was imposed on them for having an illegal car. Secondly, don't forget that Daddy Stroll has rebranded Racing Point to Aston Martin. They are now a bigger name in the sport, and they have some really fresh fundings coming in their team as well. So they will be upgrading their facilities in the coming future and can become a race winning team in the coming future as well. So I don't know much about their technical department and other things, but for me, what I think their Achilles heel will be their drivers, as we all know that Lance Stroll is not a very consistent driver, and Sebastian Vettel just came out of his most horrific season in this sport, and it will take him quite some time to get back to his mojo. Thirdly, I want to say that McLaren has invested heavily in its Formula One venture, and they have progressed leaps and bounds in the past recent years. And moreover, they are quite safe in the marketing side and the technical side as well. But it's not necessary that having everything on paper is a guarantee to success. Everyone has talked about their decision to take Mercedes power units from 2021, but their rival team, naming Aston Martin, which was Racing Point, and prior to that it was Force India, has the same power unit for the entire turbo hybrid era, and they are nowhere near in the top three teams. So, well, that depends on various factors, but you can count it as a point that Mercedes engine is having a Mercedes engine is not a guarantee to success. Also, the new wind tunnel that is under construction at the McLaren Technology Center will take time to complete, and the new wind tunnel testing regulations are not going to help them, as it limits the testing time for the teams. Like the top team will get the less amount of wind tunnel testing, and the teams at the bottom will have more amounts of wind tunnel testing time. So it's not gonna help them like too crazy. But so the answer to the question of whether we are over expecting from McLaren is that we all might be over expecting results from McLaren for this season, but McLaren should come out as a race winning team after the regulations change. But that too is not guaranteed, as every team will be looking to bounce back, and we can't say anything about that now. So also, Daniel Ricciardo is my favorite driver, and I really like Lando Norris. Like, who doesn't? But yeah, I really want McLaren to perform this year. Also, I want Aston Martin to perform this year. But Danny Rick being my favorite driver, I'm more inclined towards McLaren. So I'm not sure if I justified the title of this video, but here's what I wanted to say. And I said all this with a very limited research due to my time constraints. But anyway, thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you think about this topic. Also, at last, to all those who have subscribed to my channel, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And to all those who didn't subscribe, dude, you can subscribe anytime. I don't have any flight to catch right now, so take your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.